Hey guys, Jay here. Happy Thursday evening. Well, worked my butt off today. Had a good day though. I got the driveway and the sidewalks all done. Got the house all pressure washed. So everything's done. Anything I do is Mom's palm tree is trim the dead out of it tomorrow, which won't take long. Then I move everything over to the back by the pool. I'm gonna get that all cleaned up out there. Then I'm gonna go ahead and shock the hell out of the pool and get it going again. I know the last couple of days I could have used that pool, but no, it's out there. I was smiling because I always put a chair out there for me and a fan, and to keep me when I had to take breaks and stuff. Fan blowing to keep me cool, and I get some water and stuff. But every time I would go up to sit down, my dad's sitting in my chair, smoking a cigarette with his cup of coffee, just sitting there watching me. But he was always proud of your yard. And back when I got done with it, he'd get down by the road and take pictures of it and send it to his family. But yeah, I think most of that's what kept me going today because it was so damn hot out. But somehow Thomas broke my pressure washer, a brand new pressure washer. I bought that before we even got started. I used it one time, and the nozzle on it where we spray the water out of, somehow I broke the handle on the damn thing. So I had to switch it out with the other pressure washer I had. I said, he's hard on shit. That was the first time that thing was used, and he broke it. But I don't know, other than that, no, everything went good today. Like I said, I got one more thing. Well, I'm going to run down to Lowe's in the morning because I keep him potted plants on the wall out in the front, the white wall. And here, somehow a couple of them blew over. Well, the storms and stuff, but they ended up dying, so I'm going to go out and buy 2 more to replace them. Because that's my dad loved when I put them up there because everything was flowers everywhere. And, but, yeah, he used to sit there and watch me out there sweating to death and dying. But when I was done, man, he loved it. Kind of like my mom. My mom would just not say anything. She says, "You done with that?" And I, yeah. Well, this needs done now, blah, blah, blah. No, it looks nice. No, there's no nothing. Just, this needs done now. I don't know. But I called the hospital at 7 a.m. and they said she's doing all right. So I filled my little cooler up with ice. I drank 2 big things of Gatorade today and like 3 bottles of water. The bad part is I don't even sweat anymore. But so I got done with all that crap and I was getting ready to take the trash down. Not an old push mower was sitting out front. And I told my mom before, I'm throwing that thing out. It's junk. No, you're not. Bought a brand new carburetor for that. I don't care. It's garbage. It's junk. It leaks fuel. So since she ain't here, guess where it's at? Down by the trash cans. But I had that shelf, and I set it down there, and next thing I know, I hear somebody behind me saying, "Sir, sir, excuse me, sir." I turn around, here it's Becky from across the road. I said, "Hey, Becky." She said, "Jason." I said, "Yeah." She said, "My God." No, I said, "What?" She said, "You're little now." She said, "Not that you were always big, but," she said, "you're just tiny now." I said, "Yeah, I know." I said, "I was in the hospital for how long?" But I said, like 3 months, or going on 4 months. I said, between everything. I said, but I got everything straightened out with me now, supposedly. At least I'm praying to God they did. But yeah, I get up in the morning. I don't get dizzy or anything anymore. Like I said, I just like normal, like I used to be. But yeah, and Bella, what I wrote on her last night, I didn't write it to be mean. I just said, because you said extend an olive branch, I ain't extending nothing to him. Maybe a thorn bush. Like I said, if he wanted money, his circumstances were different. I'd have given the money for the water bill, but not after what he did. So, like I said, Becky asked me about him today. She said, "Was that Tom over here messing around?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "You didn't pay him to do that, did you?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, $150. She said, "And he didn't do nothing." She said, "I was watching him when he was over here." She said, "He just got there," and she said, "He acted like he's in a hurry to leave." I said, "He was." I said, "He got here like 10 after 5. He wanted to be back home at 6 to eat dinner." I said, "Then he went on a full 8 hours day pay." And she said, "The heck with that." She said, "I wouldn't pay him nothing." She said, "In fact, he scares me." She said, "I don't even like being around him when he's outside." I said, "I think he's harmless." I said, "But," she said, "Well, he's definitely not altogether there." I said, "Yeah, you know that, and I know that." I said, "It's turned into a stinking battle all over money." I said, "Because I was running low on money, because I didn't know I had all the money in the bank yet." I said, "Now that I'm out and I'm able to do it myself, I don't need it." I said, "So why am I going to pay him to stand around here?" She said, "I wouldn't have paid him to begin with." She said, "I heard from Doris," she said, "Dee's mad at you." I said, "Well, if she's mad, she'll get glad." I said, "She don't get over it, she'll get under it. Don't matter to me." I said, "I'm better off they just leave me alone." I said, "Not go on with my life." And other than that, nobody bothered me today, but she wanted that shelf. So I told her, I said, "Well, I'll take it over for you," because she had a doctor's appointment. I said, "Well, I'll just take it over and set it in front of your garage door." And she said, "No, I don't want you to have to do that." She said, because I know, she said, since you told me you just got out of the hospital, she said, I ain't making you do any extra work. And I said, well, I can do it. I said, that way somebody don't stop and take it before you get back. And she said, you know what, I'll just grab it now real quick. So she grabbed it and took it over to her house and set it. But, and that's a woman. But Tom would have charged me $50 to move it. But, now I don't know. Like I said, I'm done with them. I ain't quit even talking about them. But I seen old Holly on there preaching again today. She goes from pig to pasture in a day. Tell me how that works. But, no, Bill, you got upset by that. I didn't mean to upset you. I just said the way I feel, because I'm the one here got to deal with it. And like I said, as far as extending an olive branch, the only thing he wants extended is a $100 bill. He ain't worried about no olive branch. And I'd have to be dumb to pay him to do it when I can do it myself and save the money. Not that I'm greedy. I mean, I give people a shirt off my back if they need help and stuff. But, and you said something about that card. If he took that card, it shows that he's hard up for money. No, that's called theft. Especially when you steal something out of somebody's post office box. That's federal crime. Thing is, I can't prove that he took it. But it seems funny that you sent it in the form of a card. He was the one getting the mail, and out of all the mail, that's the one thing I didn't get. So, like I said, I was looking forward to it. But, I don't know. But, yeah, Melody, I didn't call you this morning. You said you had a doctor's appointment at 8:30. So I figured I wasn't going to bother you. That, and like I said, down here you're dodging storms. Tomorrow's not supposed to storm or rain or anything. So I want to try to get as much done tomorrow as I can. So, but things are working out good. Like I said, that white brick and that white wall, that stuff I bought, I sprayed with it. And it had like rust on the bottom of it from the sprinkler system. Because it comes out of a well, it runs off well water. But I sprayed that stuff on there, man. I didn't have to spray it with the pressure washer. It just ate it right off. But, no, so you figure I started at 7:30. I finished up about 1. So if he did a good job and did it right, that's how long it would have took him. Instead, he was here for, what, an hour and 10 minutes? And charged me $150 for nothing. So, I don't know, like I said, and I take pride in what the yard looks like. I want it to look nice. I don't want to be the embarrassment of the neighborhood. Like the guy up around the corner, his yard looks like a hayfield. I'm surprised code enforcement hasn't got him yet. Well, they might have, I don't know, but like I said, yeah, if your yard gets too high, code enforcement shows up. But, yeah, anyway, guys, I was happy all day. Now I'm just tired as hell, so I'm going to be hitting the sack early. My mom asked me what I wanted for dinner, and I said nothing. I said, I'll eat some jello and yogurt. And she said, that's it? I said, Mom, not Mom, not today, but before. She asked me, and I told her, well, this is back when Dad was still alive. She said to me what I wanted for dinner. Well, you're out in that damn sun all day. You're not hungry. At least I'm not. I mean, it makes me sick. That's the same way it was today. I mean, I come in, I didn't want nothing. I just ate jello and yogurt. And I keep talking like she's here, and she ain't even here. Like I said, I got in that heat, and it damn near. Like I said, it's a different kind of heat down here because you got the humidity, so it's like beating you into the ground. But like I said, since I'm feeling better, I'm handling it a lot better. But it's still, like I said, I used to come up there dead tired, and my dad sitting in my chair, and I said, you mind moving so I can sit down? He said, yeah, Mom, my coffee's sitting right there. Blah, blah, blah. I said, all right, Dad. I said, I'm going to go inside in the air conditioning and sit down for a few minutes. And he said, well, don't take too long. He said, I'll get pictures before it gets dark. I think, you old buzzard. You go out in that heat and do it. Man, it just made me smile because I kept picturing him sitting up there just watching me, but I don't know. But I did order a case of V8 juice, the cans, well, I had to get garbage bags, and I ordered that, and a whole case of V8 juice in the cans, and a box of garbage bags from Sam's Club. So it's supposed to be here tomorrow. I don't even know where Sam's Club is at. But shows you how much I drive around anywhere. But no, other than that, like I said, I had a pretty good day. As far as Tom D goes, I ain't worried about it anymore. I ain't gonna talk about it anymore. What's done is done. So, tough bananas for him, because I ain't paying him anything anymore. But, like I said, Bella, if that upset you, I apologize. I didn't mean to be smart, or to sound smart toward you, but like I said, if you were in the same situation, I don't think you'd be happy. In fact, if you were here today doing what I was doing, you would never have to go through therapy again. You can always make an appointment with Dr. J, and I'll have you fixed in one day. Dr. J will fix you in a day. If you don't die from the heat first. But, alright guys, well, I'm going to get going. I love y'all. God bless. Please like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget the damn likey button, Betty. And I'll see you on the flip side. Good night. Bye bye.